Game development was always something that I wanted to do ever since I was a small child. And I suppose the reason of why I am interested in game development in the first place is because of the idea that I can make video games on my own without needing a large team, as so long as you put in the time and effort into becoming skilled enough in any part of the game development process, whether that be programming, animation, UI design, and much more. But even when I was interested in game development, I couldn't bring myself to get started, even after watching several YouTube tutorials to get invested in it. But one day, I started a new class in school, which pretty much forced me to learn the basics of game development. Heck, it's even why this video was made in the first place. And so, on April 25th, 2024, I began learning game development. So yeah, at the beginning of the first week, I started my new class and logged into the class's website, and the first thing we had to do was to pick out a course out of the several courses that was in this list. And after spending some time browsing through the courses that they offered, I noticed that there was a course on game development, and the course involved using the Godot game engine. So I checked it out, and on the first page, it had two sub-courses that consisted of following along a tutorial on how to create a 2D platformer game, and learning the basics of GDScript, which was Godot's own programming language. And anyways, I decided to start off with GDScript first and started learning on the website that the subcourse directed me to. And after several hours of learning the basics of GDScript, I booted up Godot and just spent some time coding some random stuff. And now, I present to you, I made the Godot icon spin. Yeah, I'm basically a pro at game development now. On week 2 through week 5, I was following along with several tutorial series and making games from them, which each game took me around a week to do. And oh, by the way, I will link a playlist of the tutorials I've watched, so if you want to check it out for yourself, you can. And with the help of the YouTube people, I worked on some games such as a 2D platformer game, which just had a level, enemies, power-ups, coins, and a goal. A 2D action RPG game where you can just move around, swing at enemies and kill them. You can also break grass, roll around, and that's pretty much it. And a 3D top-down shooter game where you just shoot waves at enemies and try not to die and unlock new weapons. That's also pretty much it. I didn't really... Yeah, these games don't have that much stuff in them, but they're definitely games, alright. And on week 6, I decided to do something else and try out 3D modeling with Blender. So I started with the Blender Basics campaign and followed along with the video tutorials, and after doing so, I finally made my first model ever, which was a house. Now look at this beauty. You got all things a house needs, like walls, a garage, chimney, I think that's a window, and a door. And now, after I finally learned how to use the Blender software, sorta, boom! Look at this magnificent person that I've created all by myself. It got all things a person need, like bones, a body, and you could make it move. If you couldn't tell by watching that clip, week 7 sucked, since I actually had to make a game on my own, now that I can no longer rely on tutorials. And anyways, the first step on creating a game is to have a concept, right? And out of all these ideas, I landed on a parkour game where you jump to the next block and it generates a new one in the radius and removes the previous block you were on before. So now that we got the concept, I created a new project for the game and built a basic test level and added a bean. And now, we gotta code the movement right, since you can't really play the game if you're crippled. And after doing so, let's test it out. Oh, fuck. Great! We got the movement now, but we don't really have any parkour aspects in the game yet. So I made the block generation code, and now it generates 2 blocks, where there's a current one you spawn with, and the next blocks you jump to. But there's a slight issue with that, right? When you jump to the next block, it doesn't generate a new one, nor remove the previous block you were on before. But it'll be very easy to code. All we gotta do is this and... fuck. So, I literally had to ask a classmate to help me with this, cause I'm an idiot! Shout out to him. He's currently working on a Minecraft-inspired story game, which sounds honestly pretty cool, and I wish him good luck on the game. So thank you, man. This game would have not been made if you didn't help me. So, let's add a couple of stuff to the game before it's finished. So I added this score system for the amount of blocks you jump to, a main menu, about page, and a pause menu. And just like that, I finally made my first game ever, all sorted by myself. Sure, the end result of the game may not look amazing, but still, I made my first game all by myself. Almost. And I'm proud of myself for that. I loved working on this little parkour project that I made, and I still wanted to continue adding more stuff to the game and eventually releasing it all for you to play. Maybe it can be for the next video, depending on if you guys want it or not. And if you do, please leave some suggestions on what I could add to the game, and I will look through all of your comments. And I fully intend to keep on going with game development, and I hope to continue and make more videos for you all. Thank you, the viewer, for watching this through, and I'm out.